Hello and welcome to week 4 of the Featherstone Farm Summer CSA program. It is finally starting to dry out a little bit. There are still some implications of rainfall and mud in box this week, but it is drying out. I've been working a lot building our next high tunnel. Lots of cuts and scrapes on my hands, but I have washed up according to all USDA, KGB, NBA food safety standards, ready to rip to handle produce and explain what we have in your box this week. So we start off with these very unusual but wonderful spring cabbages. These are an early variety with this conical quality. They are meant to grow this way. I have not had a slaw with these for a couple weeks, but they have a dense quality to them that makes me think this is going to be healthy and really good eating. We have a little bit of basil, bigger bags that I've been promising for pesto for a while. We have several plantings of basil still in the pipeline. If you don't have basil in your box, if you couldn't allocate it this week, don't worry. Lots more basil coming, including larger bags like this for pesto volumes for the summer. We have a wonderful treat here, golden beets, bunched golden beets. Here you can see the effects of torrential rains here, folks. This is just leaves being just torn apart by heavy, heavy downpours, but the roots themselves are really good. The gold beets are probably best peeled. They've got a little bit heavier skin than the reds, but such wonderful eating quality this time of year. I just can't recommend the tops though, because they just don't have that tender quality that you'd expect in beet greens this time of year if it were sunny and not raining. A couple of kohlrabi still around. These are topped ones that we've had from previous. Again, when you peel that green, that purple cover, that skin there, you will see a green inside, fresh eating like an apple, grated in a slaw. Kohlrabis, I think, will be gone from the mix. They're a spring crop. As we get into summer fruits like cukes and zooks, you will see fewer kohlrabis, fewer beets, but they'll be back in the fall. We have our first summer broccoli. These are smaller heads, folks. Again, we don't leave them in the field long enough to really bulk up this time of year, because when it's wet, this is when we get the bead breakdown, a little bit of alternaria specking in there that will degrade the broccoli. So we pick them small like this in the spring to keep them healthy, but they're in the box for the first time. Another good planting coming for next week. We have cucumbers and zucchini. Cucumbers, first of the year, they just don't look great, folks, and this, believe it or not, is a rain phenomenon. Cucumbers are pollinated by bees, and the flower on the end of this needs to be visited many times by a bee in order to produce a healthy, straight, good-looking cucumber. And when it's cloudy, rainy, cool, pouring down rain, the bees don't get out as much, and the cucumbers are just more irregular, not quite as nice as we'd like to see them because of the rain. But sun coming out this week. I think good news coming on cucumbers, zucchini, same thing, healthy crop, beautiful ones. Many weeks of cucumbers and zucchini ahead of us for the CSA program. These make great salads, roasting on the grill for zucchini. Fennel, we have still one more week of these guys, healthy, chopped up, grated in salads, flavor, as I mentioned last week, for anything in a tomato dish. The tops can be dried and used for garnishes or seasoning and a whole range of different things. Fennel tops, don't forget about those guys. That's why we cut them long. They're available in the store because the bulb and the top are both useful. We have French breakfast radishes, field grown. Folks, this is one that's really a tough one. We cover these with a fabric in the field to prevent flea beetles from coming in and nibbling those leaves. There's bug pressure, and then there's also heavy rains have buggered the tops, but the roots are still really fine. White onions, last of the season of this particular variety. Nice size, small white onions, sweet spring flavor, fresh eating in salads is what I would recommend. And speaking of salad mix, the first of an experimental Featherstone Farm spring salad mix. Folks, this is something that is limited availability this week. It's an experimental thing. We don't have the fancy equipment, washing and drying material yet to produce really premium, super fancy salad mix, but this is still a step in the right direction, a real accomplishment for us at Featherstone Farm. We're excited about it. More of this to come in future weeks and future years in particular as we move toward high tunnel grown salad mixes, professionally washed and packed. Handful of additional things, but I'll just call out one final one. Wonderful green beans and purple beans in mixed bags this week. Should be plenty for all members. This is something that all of us at Featherstone Farm, super proud of this year, despite all of the rains and wet, all of the difficulties we faced. From a growing perspective, from a harvest, wash and pack, we've had really fine beans, and we'll have one more week, I think, and then perhaps fall crop again, but something to be proud of. As we go out of cool season spring crops and start into warm summer next week, sweet corn, early bell peppers, a lot of things coming next week. We'll see you then.